In 2011, at Camp Bastion in Afghanistan, I watched a company of Royal Marines commandos heading deep into hostile territory. Their mission was to set up a new patrol base as a lure to attract the enemy to them. They're going in effectively as human bait, and they're going to invite attack. This is a very, very risky mission indeed. The place is reportedly crawling with insurgents.
What's fellas? Stop getting in your order, march!
Now 100 Royal Marines are heading out tonight. And of course everybody's praying that 100 Royal Marines will eventually return. I had my fears, but as I watched those men depart, I could never have imagined the fate that awaited them. Of these Marines, 3 were to die, 20 were to be seriously injured, and one, eventually to be known to everybody as Marine A, was to commit a battlefield crime so serious that it was to send shockwaves around the world.
A Royal Marine is found guilty of murdering an Afghan insurgent in cold blood. Evidence from a helmet camera showed how the injured Afghan was shot in the chest. Senior commanders condemn what happened.
It was a truly shocking and appalling aberration. It should not have happened, and it should never happen again.
In my letters I write to him, I always put, I'm very proud of you, son. You haven't disgraced yourself. You haven't disgraced us.
He's murdered somebody, and murder is murder.
Murder is murder. It never really applies because all murders are different.
Who's to say in the kind of ebb and flow of a firefight, when all these things are going on around you, who among us might not do the same thing?
Marine A is the first British serviceman to be convicted of murder on active service since the Second World War. But was the killing a tactical decision? Was it a mercy killing? Or was it a battlefield execution prompted by revenge and hatred? The act of a man traumatized by war. When I first heard that it was a Royal Marine who had been arrested for the cold-blooded murder of a badly injured Taliban insurgent, I have to admit I was shocked to the core. As a filmmaker, I've been privileged to train with the Royal Marines, live with them, and go to war with them on many occasions in Afghanistan.
Get down into cover! Move round! Quickly get down low! Just get down to that low.
We're under heavy attack. Taliban are fighting back hard. Now these men normally espouse a strong ethos of ferocity in battle, but magnanimity in victory. And alongside them I've experienced the mind-bending terror and thrill of combat. I've known Marines who've been killed in action, and I've known many who've suffered horrific, life-changing injuries. So, cards on the table. I don't come to this story as a dispassionate observer. I come as a passionate one. It's not just that I want to know what happened on that fateful day. I need to know. Marine A was eventually revealed as a 5-tour veteran who'd seen action in Northern Ireland, Iraq and Afghanistan. By all accounts, a fine soldier with an unblemished record, and who'd been marked for promotion. He was 39-year-old Sergeant Alexander Blackman. So what sort of man is he?
He's amazing. Never met anybody like him. He's just so gentle and calm and generous, and yes, he's a big softie.
Is your husband a murderer?
Absolutely not. No way, no shape, no form. Just categorically no.
Even though he's convicted as one?
Well, I don't know that I know what defines somebody as a murderer, but everything that defines Al points me and everybody else in completely the opposite direction.
I'll love him no matter what, and I know he's had to make difficult different choices and things that I wouldn't want to have to make personally, but it's war. It's not the black and white wars that we want them to be. It's every shade of grey in between.
I'm not ashamed of him because he was doing his job, he was doing his duty to the country and everybody in this country and the Queen. And that's what he was sent out to do, to get rid of the insurgents.
The trouble is that we're trying very hard to rationalise something that happened in a war zone, in a different country, on the other side of the world, in circumstances that none of us will ever begin to understand.